Okay, it's 2nd of February 2022. Markets had a really less sort of high growth stuff, and the Nasdaq's had a really good, really big sell-off. I think it got down to 18-19% from peak to trough, and who knows, we might still have further to go. So I've sort of made a few mistakes just recently, sort of shaken the confidence a bit. And the reason for doing these videos is to just talk through myself to trying to get to the bottom of where I get a bit wrong sometimes. So of late, I've spent more time taking in views on Twitter, a lot of very doom and gloom, and we're only going to have a little market rally before the proper crash comes and all that, and so a lot of different views have really confused me, which has resulted in me being indecisive, which is really not good. So I really need to sort of get back and work more on my process and identify, well, if I'm not sure about something, actually just dig in deep to the research and try and get to the bottom of it so I can become more decisive. That's a very sort of clear thing I need to do a whole lot better on. One of the sort of key signals is when the number of stocks trading above the 50-day moving average drops below 20%. That's usually a pretty good signal that an intermittent bottom is in. That has happened again recently. The last one was October. Where I've got a bit indecisive is sort of the narrative overlay over that, and also there are times when this signal doesn't work, like any signal. The last time, there's sort of two major times this signal hasn't worked is the .com crash. The Nasdaq rolled over, stocks traded by the 50-day went below 20%. It sort of rallied a bit, then rolled over and rolled over. The Nasdaq went down something like 86% in that period. And also at the start of the GFC, this signal flashed up a number of times at the beginning and roughly middle of 2008. Before the market sort of rolled back over yet again before it finally bottomed in 2009. So I sort of talked myself out of taking action a little bit. I thought, I don't know, there's people were sort of posting doom and gloom stats, which I think some of them were probably had some merit, but the bottom line is I've been following sort of other people's sort of emotions and thoughts too much and not being objective enough. I know when I get objective and I work through things properly, research actually works out pretty well. So I need to spend more time on that particular signal and say, well, when's it not likely to work, or just position size accordingly. Yeah, okay, so that's that. What I sort of personal things that I need to work on. I had some options in semiconductors, and they were holding up really well, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. And then about 2 weeks ago or so, they got totally smoked. Pretty much every semiconductor just blew up in terms of the chart. So including all the ones I had. So I had small options positions there, so they're all down heavily, but the position size was very small to start with, so roughly 1%, or in some cases quite a bit less. So they were AMD, AMAT, MU, and Marvel, MIVL. So all of those have just been clobbered. Be interesting to see what they do now, because AMD last night came out with some cracker earning results, and also Nvidia sort of bounced off the 200-day. So yeah. Charts don't look great at the moment, but equally they definitely look like they're being probably too sold off. I'm not really planning on buying more of those options, at least just yet. I'd like to see maybe I've missed the bounce off the 200-day moving average in a few of those stocks, but I'd like to be a bit diversified into some other areas, or if some of the semi sort of set back up, Hopefully some of the volatility comes out, so the option prices come down a little bit too. Would be nice. Another individual stock that looks interesting is this little thing called LLNW. $500,000 market cap, so not big. You can't see on that shot chart. Still not working. Yeah, cracking chart. Like nice base. Moving averages, 200 day, 50 day moving up. Viable gap up here. Looks like it's now starting to have some positive sales growth. Only $500 million market cap. The options are very thin to sort of non-existent in terms of trading, so that looks a bit hard. But you can see here the volume dry up after the big push up is really good. So that's a stock I'm going. I might end up buying. Actually, just let me write that down. Just because it's a smaller company, I've got to have a much sort of bigger stop loss on this one. But yeah, it's the sort of thing who knows where that could go. The other one is the shipping stocks look really strong. A lot of them are making all-time highs, which in this market is phenomenal. So we go by the idea we're looking for strong relative strength stocks. Then shipping, along with energy and one or two other areas, is about as good as it gets from what I can see. So look at this all-time high, I think, at least most recent all-time high. Not okay. That one's down a bit, but nothing too bad. This one's right up there. Scorpio's a funny one. I've read about the CEO who was buying quite a lot of out-of-the-money call options, which never seem to actually work. So I don't know what's going on in the stock. This one close to all-time highs. TGH really strong as well. Again, this is in the context of a market that's been pretty average for the last month. And Zim. So this is on something like a P of 2 or 3, 17% dividend yield, so something just crazy like that. Now, I actually bought this stock at $66. I didn't buy it when there was a real sort of panic sell in the market here, and I really should have been buying it around here. Now, this goes back to my first comments. There's a bit of the deer in the headlights type thing going on here. Didn't buy it. Sort of talked myself out of action, probably regrettably in this case. Anyway, finally decided to buy it when it sort of pushed out of its. It's almost like a sort of like a VCP thing here, isn't it? So I am going to. So I bought the stock and not the options, and the reason for that is the dividend yield is extremely high. You don't get rewarded for very high dividend yields in the option pricing, and also the spread on the option prices is just huge. So in this case, I have to run my numbers. So what's the best thing to do? And just owning the shares. I'm running a stop loss on it around about here, around about $55. So it is kind of a very wide stop. Therefore, my position size isn't very big. So if it does go under the huge things, I'm not going to make a fortune out of this. But it's all about risk management too. So, and that's my first priority. Okay. So I've actually bought Zim in the last few days. Other stocks that are looking quite interesting is Facebook, sort of. I mean, sort of at base here, pushed out, and this might be just one big, long, meandering correction before it's sort of getting ready to go again. I haven't really bought the stock or options. Now, the question is why I haven't bought it. That's a good question. I've been sort of nervous about this sort of looseness through here, and to tell you the truth, I have switched off in January because the market was so bad. So that's another key point, is I'd sort of just take my eye off the ball and start looking at other projects, and when things aren't working or the market's bad, and it's just such a big mistake. I think I've just got to just do these videos every day, do my research every day, just to keep the axe sharp. And because the problem is, I find if I don't look at things, and then after a while, sort of, when you've been on holidays and then you come back to do your school report and you can't remember how to write and all that. So there's a bit like that with this. I think this is just looking a bit scrappy at the moment, even though I think it's actually held up pretty well in the bigger scheme of things. And okay, Google. This is a good example. I probably should have been a bit more on the ball here. And we had that sort of follow through day in the market here. So much fear, then it sort of recaptured the 200-day moving average, like it did here, and away it goes again. Now, I did actually take, I think it was a very small loss or break even on this trade back here, and I made the comment, I don't want to be in a stock that's sort of meandering around, and that was sort of pretty good call, saying that they've just announced sort of huge earnings and 24 on a stock split, so overnight the stock's up to 3,000 or so close to all-time highs. Now I've got that on my high alert list because what I would like to do is buy options, and maybe I have to wait for the stock to split to do this, because the problem with the $3,000 stock, the options are very expensive. So in some of my accounts it's too big a size. But I just think with Google, an amazing company. It's one of the best, if not the best company in the world. It's just growing like crazy. YouTube is just such a weapon, and the volatility isn't actually that high on this. So, look at the move that it had in 2021. It's just huge, and for a mega cap, that's extraordinary. So you can get yourself actually a lot of price growth in this stock for a volatility in the options that actually isn't too bad. So this one's very high on my alert. So I just want to see when it's going to stock split. So to get options at a cheaper price, or maybe some accounts buy options ahead of that and then end up with a split number of options after that. Not sure. So the other thing too, I should say, is like a big 10% move. Normally, in a big stock like this, you'll see some sort of consolidation before it sort of goes again. So yeah, in my next few videos, I'll sort of talk more about that. Another one is New Relic in the software space. So software as a group has been terrible, so I probably shouldn't be looking here too much, but held up really well. Lots of relative strength in this stock. Came out of a nice long base. Clear move into stage 2. Look at that, it's just a huge move up there. Mega volume, settling down nicely ever since, but hasn't done what most other tech stocks have done, which is halved in value, or even worse in many cases. It's actually held in there really well. I was just looking at the options. The options are probably a bit expensive, I think, around about 50-something% implied volatility. So I haven't made a decision. Again, it's coming back to the indecision comment, isn't it? Well, what am I doing? Yeah, so look, tried to shake out once, twice, 3 times. Maybe it's something I just need to buy the stock on and run a stop loss on. Yeah, I seem to be pausing here, don't I? Because people are saying that we're having a little short covering rally and the market's going to roll over again. I'm sort of, don't get me wrong, that might happen to be true, and that might prove to be true, but it's my indecision is the concerning part from my psychology. I haven't thought this out properly enough, so I've got some homework to do there. So yeah, in summary, I recently bought stock in Zim. So the other comment I made was Tesla. already own this. I've got a small position that I'm trying to treat as more of an investment, not a trade. Tagged the 200 really nicely, bounced off, oversold, still lots of relative strength. So it is a bit of a pullback, but nothing out of the ordinary for this stock. I'm actually going to put on a trade here with a stop loss down here, so it's going to keep in fairly wide stop. So the additional purchase that I'll make is not going to be huge, given how wide the stop loss is. But Tesla is one of the great stocks of all time, sort of thing. So I'm going to buy additional shares, and that additional trade is going to be considered as a trade. That's going to have a stop loss where my initial purchase, I don't have a stop loss, so I'm just going to try and hold those. I would have well and truly been shaken out of that if I had a stop loss in those initial ones. Plenty of research showing that this is really quite cheap from a sort of PE basis in a few years. So it appears that there's probably more upside than downside in this. See the base here. I was thinking this might have been going into a stage 3, and stage 2 that it might be going to stage 3. But equally, you can make the case that stage 2 consolidation in stage 2. So I'm looking for a stage 2 sort of consolidation, sort of new entry here via sort of this pretty mega shakeout. Well, let's see how we go. So bought Zim, going to buy some more Tesla, or at least put the order in, see if I get hit. Love to buy some options on Google. Love to buy some New Relic and LLNW. I've just got to figure out exactly when I'm going to pull the trigger on that. Thank you.